Hello, everyone, and welcome to EcoAmerica's third annual Climate Leadership Awards Gala event. I am Vanessa Ock, EcoAmerica board member and Telemundo News anchor. On behalf of EcoAmerica's board and our program leadership group, thank you for joining us. I'm hosting this event alongside the great Bill McKibben. He is this year's selection committee chair. We're here to celebrate and honor and reward the American Climate Leadership Award finalists who have brought forward successful climate initiatives that have been meaningful, impactful by mobilizing a broader diversity of Americans for climate action. Each of these finalists have centered justice and equity in their work. They give us all inspiration, and most importantly, they serve as models that any of us can replicate for success. So please join us in welcoming the 10 top finalists. Hello, and congratulations. I mean, definitely you are all winners. Thank you for being here.
And thank you, Vanessa. And let me extend my welcome to everybody joining us for this celebratory event. Our goal is to make it a wonderful award ceremony, just slightly less dramatic than the one you may have watched last night. I want to spend a special thank you to our many entrants. It's been a pleasure to chair this year's awards committee and review the inspiring applications that were submitted. And I want to thank EcoAmerica for their leadership in bringing these awards forward and for the many other ways that they too help to mobilize Americans for climate action. Their health, faith, local community partners. Increasingly, millions of Americans are concerned about climate change, and it's inspiring to see EcoAmerica's programs and leaders helping so many address the issue. Now, I did not do this judging alone. I want to take a minute to recognize the commitment and the efforts of my fellow selection committee members who've had the very difficult job of selecting the finalists, the runner-up, and the winner. And they really are remarkable people. I've worked with almost every one of them. I've been to jail with several of them. They include the author, activist, overall climate hero, Gus Speth, the wonderful, wonderful president of the Hip Hop Caucus, Reverend Lennox Yearwood, Dr. George Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, the 35th mayor of Salt Lake City, Jackie Biskupski, environmental scientist, advocate, scholar, entrepreneur, and veteran stalwart of this work, Michael K. Dorsey, Katie Eder, the wonderful young director of the Future Coalition, and Laura Turner Seidel, international environmental advocate, eco-living expert, and of course, the founder of Earth Uprising, the wonderful Alexandria Villaseñor.
They are all amazing, and so is you, Bill. So we are just so lucky to have you. The American Climate Leadership Awards were designed to help inspire and empower all of us to make a difference on climate change. With the support of founders, EcoAmerica is providing $175,000 in award money and the national platform to showcase the finalists' work. We want to help them continue their exemplary programs and encourage you to who are listening to join and replicate this wonderful initiative.
Yeah. From very firsthand experience, it was challenging, but also inspiring to review these exceptional applications. There were a lot that we went through, from which we selected 10 finalists and then identified the runner-up and the winner. Every one of them working their hearts out to move America toward real climate solutions. There are so many people and organizations dedicating their lives to reversing the climate crisis, and millions more people that want to do so but aren't quite sure how they can make a difference. Truthfully, they're all winners. And we're so excited that you can be with us here today through watch parties that are happening at each of these organizations. Hello, everybody. We're really, really glad you're here.
It's just amazing to have them all here. Our 10 finalists span initiatives including spurring local community action on climate as a matter of health, catalyzing advocacy among communities of faith, and inspiring even more of our nation's youth to climate action. Now, let's take a look at those finalists. As we announce these groups and individuals, please engage with us in the Action Center. You can use the emojis and also tweet and get into the social feed. Let's show them our support. Okay, the first app is the Elected Officials to Protect America. This is a network of current and former elected officials who care deeply about protecting our planet and people. They are committed to solving the climate crisis, ensuring environmental justice, and protecting our lands and waters. Elected Officials to Protect America is the only national organization mobilizing veterans who are also lawmakers for climate action. So let's see.
Elected Officials to Protect America is a network of current and former lawmakers who care deeply about protecting our planet and people. EOPA is committed to solving the climate crisis, ensuring environmental justice, and protecting our lands and waters. We are the only national organization mobilizing veterans who are lawmakers on the environment. This resulted in mobilizing 80 state legislators who are military veterans from 50 states to pass the Land and Water Conservation Fund. In New York, we mobilized over 1,000 lawmakers from all 62 counties to ban fracking statewide. In California, we mobilized over 300 elected officials from 49 counties, representing half of California, to phase out oil and gas production statewide. Los Angeles and Culver City then passed historic legislation to phase out oil extraction. We are mobilizing veterans who are lawmakers to urge the administration, Congress, and states to declare a climate emergency and enact a climate emergency plan. The war in Ukraine has shown us how urgent ending our reliance on fossil fuel is for our security and prosperity. Join us at protectingamerica.net.
Amazing stuff. Now on to a group that I've gotten to work a lot with over the years, the Powershift Network, which is made up of youth-led social and environmental justice organizations who are working together to build the youth clean energy and climate movement.
I'm Danny Sigwell, and I'm the Executive Director of Powershift Network, where we're bringing together people and organizations from all corners of the complex landscape of change-making together to shift power from oppressive systems and build the just futures that young people deserve. PSN hosts convergences that bring in thousands of young people to dream, learn, and be in community with one another. From that, we've seen new youth-led organizations created, BIPOC youth finding their movement homes, and seen how powerful it is for youth to have access to discussions around how climate justice is linked to all social justice movements and impacts us all. Between convergences, we provide our 120 member organizations with the tools, resources, and trainings they need to build power at the local, state, federal, and international level. I'm in awe of the young people I get to mentor and work with every day. We continue to hand young folks the keys to lead their own projects because we know that young folks have always been on the front lines of social justice movements in this country. And I ask you to also give them the keys and the wholehearted support they need to be able to thrive in this work.
That's very important work. Now we'll go to Healthy Community Services at the 7th Ward that is still rebuilding from the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. Green infrastructure is a key part of the organization's visions for a healthier, more resilient neighborhood. Healthy Community Services works to cultivate neighborhood green infrastructure champions. Let's see.
Thank you, Eco America. On behalf of Healthy Community Services, the staff, board of directors, and most importantly, the neighbors and residents of the 7th Ward, thank you for acknowledging our work with the Vision to Reality Stormwater Management Site. We're managing 35,000 gallons of stormwater per rain event on a hurricane evacuation route. And so to be recognized as an American climate leader, I'm humbled by this experience, as well as being an Eco America Climate Ambassador. We all can do something to become more resilient and create a sustainable environment. So let's do our part together to help build a safer, healthier, cleaner world.
Vanessa, I've been down in that part of that city and seen that work they're doing. It really is amazing. Next is the Climate Mobilization Project. They build power for a national transformation that could rapidly restore a safe climate and in the process create a just and democratic society.
Hey y'all, my name is Maria Jahangiri and I'm the network organizer for the Climate Mobilization Project. We are a national organization that is building grassroots power for an emergency speed climate transformation. Our climate emergency framework has been adopted by 187 communities across the US and has fundamentally shifted the way that people think about climate change. Last year, we launched the Climate Mobilization Network, a rapidly growing learning hub of more than 40 local groups across the country that prioritize a just transition, including groups led by frontline communities and white allies. Together, we're fighting for the necessary goal of zero emissions by 2030. We support network members by providing policy toolkits, trainings, and other opportunities to share, amplify, and replicate critical lessons and wins across the movement, creating an unstoppable wave of climate justice campaigns across the country. Join us in building and catalyzing the grassroots power that we need to fight for a livable future for everyone.
An unstoppable wave. I love that. Faith in Place is our next finalist. Since 1999, Faith in Place have empowered people of diverse faith and spiritualities in Illinois to be leaders in advancing environmental and racial justice, providing resources to educate, connect, and advocate for healthier communities. In 2022, Faith in Place entered into a partnership with Husher Interfaith Power and Light and Wisconsin Interfaith Power and Light to become a three-state organization advancing environmental and climate justice in Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin.
Let's make a change. Let's be a change. Hey, please pass a clean climate bill.
I'm Pastor Scott Onquay, Policy Director for Faith in Place, a powerful multi-faith voice for climate justice in Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. Last year, Illinois passed the Climate Equitable Jobs Act, a nation-leading climate law that prioritizes both climate justice and equity. That law would not have happened without a diverse advocacy coalition across Illinois. Our green teams were an important part of that advocacy. These faithful advocates show up time and time again for climate justice. We provide coaching resources and training to empower them to be voices for climate in their communities. They plant rain gardens together, they install solar panels, and they march at the State House. We invite you to look to your communities for input on climate legislation. Together, we will continue working for healthier, more equitable, and resilient communities.
Staying on that faith bandwagon, up next is a group that I've gotten to watch grow over the years. Young Evangelicals for Climate Action are coming together and taking action to overcome the climate crisis as part of their Christian discipleship and witness.
Hello, my name is Christine Seibert, and I co-chair the steering committee for Young Evangelicals for Climate Action. YCA exists to equip, empower, and catalyze young Christians to love God and our neighbors through bold, wholehearted, and faithful climate action in our church and community in order to create a more just, equitable, and loving world. One of the ways we strive toward this mission is through our Climate Leadership Fellows program. This YCA Fellowship is designed to provide the necessary tools, training, and resources for young Christians around the country to implement meaningful projects in their communities. Since 2014, we have trained 81 young Christians through this program. I'm an alum of the program, and I'm so thankful for the training and support that I've received. Currently, we have 16 college fellows on 11 campuses, and we're also in our first year hosting a new community fellowship designed to support the leadership of young Christians who are part of and serve in the communities most immediately and intensely impacted by environmental justice. We know that individuals in their own local contexts and communities have the knowledge and wisdom to enact meaningful change. We invite you to join or support this work and to support the young people in your own communities who are working toward a just and equitable future. Thank you.
Wonderful. Next is Schools for Climate Action, a national nonpartisan grassroots youth and adult campaign with a mission to empower schools to speak up for climate action.
Schools for Climate Action is a nonpartisan, grassroots, youth-adult-led campaign with a mission to empower the education sector to speak up for climate action in order to protect current and future students.
Once students pass a resolution, we provide advocacy training so they can deliver their school board resolution by meeting with their member of Congress. We organized over 65 youth-led congressional meetings.
En solo 3 años, hemos ayudado a aprobar 149 resoluciones climáticas de juntas escolares, asociaciones educativas estatales y nacionales.
I've worked to introduce their resolution to hundreds of school board members from across this nation so that they can implement change in their local communities.
We believe youth deserve to have a voice in climate policy. That's why we work to co-author 2 House resolutions, one on climate literacy and an upcoming resolution focused on youth mental health amidst the climate crisis.
They came to me with an idea, and their idea I thought was great, to have climate change taught in our school system. And they actually came in my office, and with my staff, they wrote the bill. And we introduced the bill with them at a press conference, and they took the lead. And they have so far managed to lobby to get over 40 co-sponsors, and that's unheard of. I mean, these young people are high school young people.
While some will argue that they are the leaders of tomorrow, I say that they are the leaders of today.
Well, very good to see Congresswoman Lee there. If you can impress her, you can impress anyone, because she's a veteran stalwart in this fight. Next is Alternatives for Community and Environment, an organization working on climate justice by building the power of communities of color and low-income communities in Massachusetts to eradicate environmental racism and classism.
Hey y'all, I'm Sophia Owen. I'm the Director of Environmental Justice Legal Services at Alternatives for Community and Environment, or ACE, based in Roxbury, Massachusetts. And I'm going to share about our campaign to lower building emissions and improve air quality in Boston, what we call BERDO 2.0. So in Boston, 4% of buildings cause 70% of emissions. To tackle this problem, we partnered with the City of Boston to draft BERDO 2.0 and center environmental justice and frontline communities in the process. We held 4 community meetings, got input from over 200 community members, and delivered 2,000 petitions to support a strong compliance standard that lowers emissions, doesn't include offsets, and has strong community oversight. The ordinance unanimously passed City Council and was signed by Mayor Janey in October of last year. ACE welcomes you to join Boston as a leader by following our example. You can check out our website or follow us on social media for more information at ace-ej.org or at aceej on Twitter.
Work. Now we go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin Green Muslims is a grassroots environmental justice group formed in 2005 to connect faith, climate, and environmental justice, sustainability, and healing through education and services.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful, I greet you with the Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you. I'm Huda Alka. I'm an ecologist, environmental educator, and the founder and director of Wisconsin Green Muslims, a grassroots environmental justice group formed in 2005, connecting faith, environmental justice, sustainability, and healing through education and service. For 17 years now, we work on environmental justice issues related to climate change, clean air and pure water, healthy food, solar energy and energy efficiency, waste reduction and transportation equity. Through our programs, the Green Ramadan campaign, the Open Circle monthly theme model, and the Interfaith Wisconsin Faith Communities for Equitable Solar Initiative, we reach thousands of Muslims and people from 19 different faith traditions and spiritualities. Our website is wisconsingreenmuslims.org and faithandsolar.org. Thank you.
And last but very much not least is Green Roots, Inc., a resident-led organization dedicated to improving and enhancing the urban environment and public health. We're back in the Bay State now, particularly in Chelsea and the greater Boston area. For over 25 years, Green Roots has uplifted resident voices to thwart really egregious business proposals that threaten further industrial contamination. They've improved the urban environment through gardens, through parks, through ecological restoration. And in the process, they have empowered low-income, BIPOC, marginalized residents to join together to fight for positive changes in their neighborhoods and for the global climate.
Green Roots is a resident-led organization working to engage and empower residents in Chelsea and East Boston. Living in the shadows of major industries, bridges, tunnels, and Logan International Airport, our communities have persevered.
Green Roots para mí significa el amor a la tierra, a la justicia ambiental.
With residents leading the way, Green Roots has defeated the construction of a dirty diesel power plant, stopped flammable ethanol freight trains, eliminated 2,000 tons of annual air pollutants, created new parks and urban growing spaces, achieved access to the Chelsea Creek, and fought to bring renewable, resilient energy to our communities.
Estoy con Green Roots porque estoy luchando contra la subestación eléctrica de Eversource para que no sea construida en mi vecindario de East Boston.
نحن في Green Roots نستثمر في الصحة العاطفية والصحة الجسدية لأفراد مجتمعاتنا.
Os vegetais da horta da Green Roots nos ajuda a distribuir comida saudável para a comunidade.
At the heart of all we do are residents of Chelsea and East Boston.
Wow, that was really inspiring. Thank you for your important work and dedication to the most important issue of our time. Each of these finalists have received a trophy to showcase their climate work, and also they have received $10,000 and the opportunity to have their work featured online. And now, let's announce the America's Climate Leadership Award runner-up and the winner. None of these great finalists you see on the screen have been told who won, and all of them are prepared to make remarks in case they have been selected tonight. So, the runner-up will receive a total of $25,000, and the winner will receive a total of $50,000. So without further ado, the runner-up is, tan, 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 Green Roots. Congratulations on winning $25,000.
Especially our sister and partner organization, ACE. You're a mentor, and this means so much for all of us. Our communities were the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic here in Massachusetts for much of 2020. And this recognition means just so much for us to come back into a just recovery from that despair. But this shows that residents and resident-led action is at the heart of everything that we do. And residents really have the solutions for the biggest climate threats facing our communities. And so we're just so grateful for this recognition and want to thank you for recognizing us and for being in such amazing company. Thank you so much. And I wish all of the rest of the finalists much love and peace.
Roseanne, thank you so much for your work and for those remarks. It's been a remarkable climate few months in Boston, I must say, and we're all watching with great interest to see how the new mayor of Boston, who ran on a climate ticket, is the things that I think she'll be able to accomplish. On to the moment that these finalists have been waiting for, the announcement of the winner of this year's awards. The 2022 American Climate Leadership Award winner, receiving $50,000, is Schools for Climate Action. Congratulations.
And I'm so grateful to be here to accept the American Climate Leadership Award on behalf of Schools for Climate Action. First, I just want to acknowledge the 9 other organizations that are finalists. We are so honored to be in the same category as these incredible groups that all focus on a different pillar of power in the climate movement. These groups all play an essential role in the climate movement, activating the religious community, training young activists, building local transit solutions, empowering local and state officials. These organizations represent the climate movement's incredible strength through diverse avenues of engagement. I grew up on a property full of oak trees, flowers, acorns, and the most beautiful places to play. I spent almost all of my time outside growing up. However, I, along with thousands of other people, lost my home in the Tubbs fire in 2017. I lost that beloved haven I had grown up in and all of my belongings, as well as all of the structure and tradition that home provided. Since then, I've been dedicating myself to fighting for climate justice because our generation and the generations to come shouldn't have to suffer from disasters like these that are so out of our control. The fire came as a reality check to me. I had been afraid of how climate change might affect my future, but the climate crisis has already taken a huge toll, and that will only increase until we effect change. Schools for Climate Action is an all-volunteer organization focused on engaging the education sector to speak up for climate justice. We believe that teachers, school districts, and state and national education organizations can play a pivotal role in the transition away from fossil fuels and the promotion of a just and equitable future through climate education and direct advocacy on climate policy based on the best available science. We believe that youth should have representation in climate policy making, since the policies made today will impact youth the most. The 3 bills we've written, HRES 975, Youth Mental Health and the Climate Crisis, HRES 29, National Climate Education, and SCR 53, the Climate Emergency Declaration in California, can serve as a template for other youth organizations to have a seat at the table when climate policy is drafted. We believe that youth should have as much access as fossil fuel lobbyists to policymakers, so we can facilitate youth from across the US to meet with their representative, create bold asks, and we are here to support youth through the process. We believe in providing free resources to any student or teacher who wants to engage in a meaningful and impactful climate advocacy by engaging their school board. We believe that no matter what state you live in, youth should be able to learn about climate change so they're ready to engage in solutions. We believe that civic education is essential during this time when youth participation in our democracy has never been more important. Finally, we want to thank the hundreds of teachers, students, school administrators who led the way to bring climate justice into the education sector. I'm accepting this award on behalf of them. Thank you.
Madigan, thank you so much for doing the most important thing you could to sort of turn tragedy into something that really, really matters for all of us. We couldn't be more grateful. What a great group of organizations, Vanessa, doing incredible work to mobilize Americans for climate action. I'm awfully inspired by everyone and really grateful that we have the opportunity to recognize these programs and initiatives. You know, so often people working alone without proper financial support. At least these awards allow us to charge up their batteries some so that they continue to do their successful initiatives, and really more so that they inspire others to follow them along, because that's what it's about, replicating this work ever more so that we can catch up with the physics of climate change.
I couldn't agree more, Bill. It's been great to be with you here and truly inspiring to see all the wonderful work that is being done by these organizations. And good news, EcoAmerica will host American Climate Leadership Awards again in 2023. It will be our 4th year and it keeps getting better. As before, we want to recognize and reward exceptional, replicable work to build public support and political will for a just, equitable climate action. And we will be offering the same amount, $175,000 in awards. Details will follow in the next few weeks, but please subscribe to EcoAmerica's newsletter, follow our social media channels, or send us an email to acla@ecoamerica.org for more information and updates.